Hello, everybody. Joe Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. Well, it looks like we're finally rebounding a little bit on the spider, which is good. I mean, it pulled back. Um, we pulled back yesterday, and so hopefully we can see some uptrend. We started out weak this morning, but it looks as if maybe we're gonna move we're gonna move well today. So just kind of wanted to just get into the slides a little bit and go from there. Well, we are in a confirmed uptrend. It's hard to believe, but it is true. We dropped off some distribution days. We've had four. I guess it's yeah. We've had 4 distribution days on the Spider, and now we're having 3 on the Nasdaq. So, it's looking, it's still kind of tenuous. I mean, it's been a very choppy market. September is traditionally a very hard market to trade. So, I was selling yesterday, taking some very, very small profits. I have been adding to some positions today, and, I did buy Copart yesterday, and interestingly enough, it's the stock of the day today. So, kinda interesting, interesting things are going on. Just kinda wanted to show you sort of what I'm seeing the big funds are buying, basically, and it's kind of really pedestrian stuff. Albertsons, ACI, which is, it's a grocery store. I mean, how exciting is that? Their price is up today. The volume is off, but the big boys are buying this one. They're also buying another one called Linden Club. I don't have this one either. It's LC, and they seem to like that one. California Resources. This is essentially a California Resources is very interesting. CRC is a oil company, if you can believe that. That's another one. I have been. I did add the XL, the XLE. That's the ETF for oil. So there has been some movement into oil today. In mode is strong. IMND in mode. This is a steel company. Very kind of, we have two steel companies on here. TX, which is and MT. MT is ArcelorMittal. They seem to be adding very strongly here. So very interesting. I don't have it. And then of course we have the shipping stock NMN. This is Neville's Marine Partners. So it's really a mixed bag here. And ABB, of course, this is a big European engineering firm. They've been, the market's been good for this as well. Just kind of wanted to show you the general overall market trend. I think that's really important to take a look at it. We're up on all three major indexes, which is great. I mean, it looks like we have had a bounce. The S&P is up a little bit. 4480, that's not bad. The Dow Jones is up today, which is great. We've been pulling back literally for, the last few days. So this is welcome. Also the Nasdaq is up above that 15,000. So, it's still marching higher, which is good because that's where many of the growth stocks live. Microsoft has been doing well, and it looks like hopefully we're going to get a little bit firming up on Apple. So that's kind of gives you that way of looking at things. The stock of the day basically is Copart. And interestingly enough, that's a company right here in Dallas. As a matter of fact, their headquarters are literally about 2 miles from here. And I know because my Charles Schwab branch used to be in the same building, so I used to go over there all the time. Nothing, just kind of an FY, sort of an anecdotal thing. Um, it's at 247. I did buy this one, but I did buy it yesterday. It's up strongly today, $2.70. Composite rating 96. Excellent. This is the IBD, and I do show a lot of stuff from the Investor Business Daily. Highly recommend it. I don't get any commissions from them. I wish I did, but canceling trading is, it's a good thing, and that's what the IBD is all about. This is their pick of the day. Just kind of want to show it to you out there. It's basically had a nice bounce off the 50-day. That's this red line here, with some nice volume coming in on this. So um, in recessions and in times of high inflation, used cars and used car parts do incredibly well. It's one of the best areas of the market. So it's very interesting that that would be the case here, but it definitely is the case here. So um, kind of interesting. Copart, CRPT, 147.29 when this was taken, and I want to take a look at it on the live chart as well. So let me I'm going to go back to the ones that the funds are buying. I kind of want to look at several of these. I want to look at ABB. I also want to look at TX, and it looks as if Linden Club, and this is LC. So these are ones that the funds are buying. So I kind of and of course, Albertsons, ACI. I'm not really a fan of Albertsons. This is an old Safeway here too, but interesting. Of course, Arbor Realty, not as interested in that one. And of course, we know about Enmode. So basically, what I'm going to do here, before we get into the questions, is I'm going to go into some of the, into some of these names that the funds are buying, which I think is very interesting because, in a tough market like this, you want to kind of see, where the bigger players are going. So let me pull up the charts, and this is in MarketSmith. I'm just going to pull up the chart right now. There we go. Takes me a second to do this typically, and let's go first to um, ABB, and this is a very large European construction firm, and I don't quite understand why this is being acquired, but by the funds, but it definitely is, and that's something that kind of like to go over with you on. Here's the chart on it. Basically, what's happened is, this is basically a Swiss company. They manufacture power equipment, so it's a kind of an industrial play here. Very interesting. Worldwide company, very big in robotics. Their earnings are coming in here at about 38 days. So this is kind of want to put this one on your radar screen. It's definitely on my radar screen. I'm just trying to figure out, what the way to go is. In terms of the industry ranking, it's 60 out of 197. So we're definitely in the top of the market. That's what you want to always be looking at. You want to see where the stocks are moving, where the money is moving to. It's definitely moving to this area. Electrical power equipment, not an area that I have bought. I've done a whole lot in the past, but it seems as if it is looking very, very strong. So let me see if I can, let's go to look at the checklist. It's got an excellent checklist. It's got 8 out of 9 criteria. The only thing that it's missing in is the earnings per share. So I want to kind of understand this from a technical pit. Um, Unfortunately, this is not really the greatest. Doesn't really have a base pattern, but this possibly could be bought off a reversal off of this line. So basically, the buy point is way back here. It's at 30.89. Currently, we're at 36. So the question is, it's showing very good strength, and this is something that I think is possible. So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an alert on this trend line here. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go from its highest high, and then I'm going to go through the top of kind of the intermediate top here, and then I'm going to put an alert on that. And basically, what I want to do on this alert is that this is a reversal off of and I'm going to say this is going to be off the 40-day line, the 40-day line. So basically, what I'm going to have happen here is if this thing moves above this trend line, then I possibly might move in with a half position on this one, just because it seems as if this one definitely is looking very good, and this really wasn't on my radar screen until just very very recently. So basically, what I'm just doing is I'm just noting here that this is a stock. Um, this is a stock that funds are accumulating. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna, you know, And I do think, and I do think that this is viable, and it's tough to come up with viable, right? This has been a tough market to find viable the viable issues, and I think that this one is good. Not normally in my not normally in my wheelhouse because I'm typically a growth stock investor, but it seems as if we're seeing some interest in these infrastructure plays, and this one is a good one. It's a Swiss company, very very big and very stable earnings, and it does look like we had some very strong earnings on this one, which is great. They just 21%. Anytime you're seeing a sales increase in a company this size of 20%, that's a good thing. This is a direct competitor with General Electric and some of the other power companies, and it does seem to be doing very well. Profits are up significantly as well. So this one you might want to put on your radar screen. ABB, ABB. All right. So now I'm going to take a look at possibly the next one, that I'm interested in, and that's TX. This one, it's amazing because this is a steel stock, and you would think, wow, steel stocks shouldn't trade like this. I mean, this is trading like a growth stock, but it's doing very very well. 53.11 in the after hours. We've had just an incredibly strong relative strength on this. Also, one thing I want to show you is the steel producers are continuing to get love from the funds, and it's just very, very interesting. The sales were up 125%, and the profits, and this is the key, were up 999%. Now, when was the last time you saw a steel company making these kind of numbers? This is just interesting. This is definitely showing us, at least from what I can see, this is definitely showing us that we are seeing very big interest, and we're also seeing potential inflation. um, Again, the only thing that this fails on, this has got a 9 out of 10 rating. The only thing this thing fails on is the earnings per share, and that's moving up. Now, we do have, we've just come through earnings on this one. So the question is, can it hold the 40-day line? That's the key here. And I do think it might because you see it came down. Yep, let me give it. It tested and then it didn't even come all the way to the 40-day line, and then it bounced up. So this one may be a potential buy as well. So here's what I'm going to do on this one. I'm going to draw a trend line here, and see, I want it to come across this trend line before I'm going to buy it. And I don't. So this is the reversal line. So what I'm doing is I'm setting an alert. So if it comes above that line, then I'm possibly interested in coming into it. Now, here's how I would buy this one if I were gonna buy this one, and I'm not in the steals right now. Is that I would do a buy stop limit order with 55.50 being the place that I would be looking to buy this. This one would be at about, let me see if I can, yeah, I would be looking to buy um, on a buy stop limit order at stop equals 55.50 and limit equals 55.60. Now, what am I talking about here? This is all gibberish. Say, Jim, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Well, what I'm talking about here is I'm talking about not buying it until it shows strength. And I possibly am looking to buy it as it moves above that line. And why? Because that's the higher high. That's the trend line, and it's obviously come down. It's tested and it's now going to move higher. So I definitely believe we're going to see it move higher. Now, you could possibly go a little bit tighter than this, but this might be a very very good buy. We're seeing a lot of very nice strength there. So this is another one that the funds are buying. Let me look at the third one here, and this is Linden Club. This is a little bit newer stock, a little bit different. LC, and this is also being acquired by funds. Now, I'm not as interested in this one because it's still testing, and I want to show you that. It's still testing that 21-day moving average. So let me zoom in and show you the action on this one. There we go. Okay. So hopefully this will let us zoom over here. I don't know if it will. Let me see if I can maybe zoom out. And I think you can see it now. Yeah. See what's happened here is that it's come up, made its high here, and then pulled back, and it looks like it's getting support right at this 21-day line. Now, this is also extremely good relative strength, 99. Now, can we buy it? Well, there is a cup with handle stage one at 2009. That's what it's showing. So we are basically a little bit extended at 28. So this is not the optimal place to buy it. We probably should have bought Linden Club back here at 2908. So right now, I couldn't recommend buying this because it's just a little bit extended. Let's see if it holds on to this one. Let's see, holds on to the 21-day line. And if it does, then I think we might have, we might have something very, very good. So here's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to put an alert on this one to see if you know to kind of see it where it's going to come. And I'm going to put that alert really right here at about 26. You know, that's really kind of where I'm going to put where I'm going to put the alert. Now, let's see if this thing may continue to pull back. I'm not sure, but this one I wouldn't buy this one directly right now. I would kind of wait. I would watch this one. I kind of want to take a look see on this because um, this one also is in a very good area. It's specialty lending, and so this one you want to put on a watch list. Okay, let's put that up. There we go. All right, so we want to watch this one LC Lending Club, and again, it's in a good sector of the it's in a really good sector of the market. It's in this financial services specialty area, and that is looking very very good. So this is the third one that the funds are accumulating. Now, take a look at the last one on the list that the funds are kind of accumulating right now, and that might be AC. That's ACI, and this is Albertsons. Very boring company. I can tell you, I shop there. I definitely shop at Albertsons, but this one is kind of a boring company. But look at this relative strength, 97. This is a total inflation play. This is a total inflation play by the big boys. Supermarkets are not my favorite. Super mini markets, 68 out of 197, acceptable. They have razor thin margins. But look at this one. It's just, again, it's come through earnings. The sales were down 7%. So I'm not sure exactly why the funds are accumulating this one, but they definitely are. And their profits were down and their sales were down. So I don't understand why uh, the the funds are accumulating this, but they definitely are. And so that's another kind of thing to look at. Let's look at the checklist. Not as good as TX, not as good as ABB. So those are kind of my two ones that I would look at. This is a little bit less, but this is definitely one that you could possibly watch list again because we do have sales that are not keeping up. That's one of the things that I really like to see. But remember, this is a inflation play, and this is basically, supermarkets have very very thin margins. I mean, by and large, but they seem to be gaining market share, and that is interesting. Earnings per share were not up 20%, but again, this is a very competitive area. So this one I probably would not on this one I probably would not I would not watch list this one. So don't watch list. So I really kind of take a pass on uh, really kind of take a pass on Albertsons, but definitely very interesting. The funds are acquiring it. I mean, we have 271 funds in here, so that's looking very very good. But I'm not going to watch this one. So those are kind of four of the ones that four of the stocks that the funds are accumulating. So very interesting on that. Again, uh, ABB, a TX, LC, and ACI. So very, very interesting. So let's take a look at some of the questions. Thanks for holding on. Let's look at Amazon and Tesla, and that's what our RT wants to see. So let's look at Amazon here, AMZN, and that is pretty interesting. The thing about Amazon right now, at least from what I can see, is that it's sort of, it's sort of in this consolidation range, with from about 31.75 up to about 37.73. Now, it does seem like it's holding. It did go down. It tested the 200-day line, and now it's come up to um, the 40-day line, but I am not liking the action on Amazon. I'm really not liking the action. It kind of appears that it is sort of losing some of its steam a little bit. I mean, not totally, but I don't think this one, from what I can see, anyways, is is as strong. So let me kind of zoom out here a little bit. Okay, well, there we go. See if that'll let me. Uh, Okay, let's zoom out. There we go. So that's a little bit easier to see it. So we're basically in this consolidation range. I'm not really that excited, but the sales just keep moving on up. So that's very, very good. And in general, I mean, it's doing well, but I think a lot of the gains have been priced in. So right now, at least from where I'm looking at, it's very choppy. I mean, if you've been holding this a long time, and you could hold it probably till the cows come home. But one things that I really worry about a little bit is that when the last earnings came out, we had this break here. You see, so I do think that Amazon is weakening in terms of a stock. Now, it's still a great stock. I mean, it continues to be a great stock, but in this case, we are seeing some weakening here. So I would be very, very careful about entering the stock here. It just appears that it's weakening, and it seems like we're seeing movement to other other opportunities here. Now, one of the opportunities, if you're willing to, if you're interested in higher price stocks, there is a stock out there that I think is more of a it's potentially it's an Amazon-like company, but it's in South America. It's called Mercado Libre, MELI is the symbol, and this is the one I'm still trying to find a place to do a spread trade on this one. I think this one is extremely strong, and it seems to lag a little bit in terms of Amazon, but this is some people call this the Amazon of South America. It's based in Argentina, but they have a huge presence in Mexico. And this company solves a problem that you have in Latin America, and that is lack of really robust retail infrastructures in outside of the major cities. Now, of course, in the major cities, you've got massive retail exposure, but not everywhere in the country, in the smaller places, do you have that in Mexico and in Argentina. But this company really has kinda stepped in and filled that void, and so this I really like this one. I mean, if you look at the strength of this, it's been phenomenal. This is not a new guy to the block. I mean, this is 2017, it's just continuously moving higher, and it's come through this basing period. So I do think we're getting very, very very soon, I believe, this one, MELI, is likely to be extremely strong, and Even in a down market. I mean, the relative strength is 90. We have look at these sales growth. I just want to show you this. This is incredible. I'm going doing really a fundamental analysis here, but look at this. 97%, 111%, 94%. This is sales growth. Now it's starting to really move. I mean, now most of the people that are investing in this are funds, but and it's got 2,119 funds in it. So it is still extremely strong. It is positive on the cash flow, and they have a very, very strong um, uh, growth. Now, here's the thing about Melly that I like. It's because it's not denominated in dollars. If there's any, even in dollar terms, this is doing extremely well. But in terms of, if you could buy this not in dollars or in pesos, you might even do better. So this is one if you're looking at Amazon, take a look at this one, Meli, Meli. I don't own it right now, but I'm looking to do a spread trade on it because spread because I do see this one, gathering strength, and it's in a good area. Retail internet. That's kind of a good place to be. All right, so thanks for thanks for bearing with me on that one. But if you're looking at Amazon, Amazon I think is, it's not Amazon is not going away anytime soon. That's for sure. But it's losing a lot of its strength. If you're willing to go with a higher price stock, Meli looks very very good. Meli. And hopefully, I'll have if you're a member of the Action Trade Alerts, super easy by the way to get on that by going to um, www Dallas Trading Floor and signing up for that. I'm going to try to construct a trade on this one that will kind of allow us to take some of the advantages of this strength and the web address super easy www Dallas Trading Floor. And if you're watching on TikTok, I'm showing charts, but unfortunately, with this live, I can't do it for technical reasons on TikTok. But if you jump on over to www Dallas Trading Floor, and it'll bring up a menu. It'll bring up a menu. It'll go all the way down. Click that, and we're showing the charts live. By the way, also if you're on TikTok, you can just go to the profile, click on the link, and just scroll on down. Also, if you want to join the Action Trailer, it's super easy. It's free. Just be the first and last name and an email address so that I can get it out to you. And thank you very much. All right, let's look at Tesla. Oh, no, that's another one. Okay, sorry. I'm I'm kind of the one man band here. Let's look at Tesla. This was my number one stock last year, and I think it was a lot. A lot of people did extremely well in Tesla last year. I definitely one of it's starting to creep up. The key level for Tesla, for me, anyways, is about 780. We're getting there. We're finally getting some strength. We're starting to sort of eliminate some of that overhead supply that we've had for so long. You know, when it went up here initially, a lot of us wrote it up here, and then as it started pulling back more than 7%, we were selling, but a lot of people didn't sell, and this created what they call a lot of overhead supply. The key level on this, and I want to draw a line on this, and I've got all these lines going all over the place here. So let me go ahead and take some of these notations off here. Let's just do that. Okay, so this is the reversal line, and that's an important line, but there's another line that I want to kind of draw here, and that is this 780 level. And this is very, very important because I believe that this level, this is what if it could move above this level, then I'm a lot more interested in that. So I'm going to put 780 key level for Tesla. And basically what I'm doing here is that I want to see it move above this because the big problem that we've had this year so far with Tesla is this overhead supply. At 780, I think we're going to start to see a lot of that overhead supply getting, will get alleviated. I think, once it starts doing that. Now I've been revising my. I've said 730, 760. Now I'm saying 780. I kind of want to go to 780 to be sure, but I definitely think we've now turned the corner on Tesla, and it looks like we've moved down to the 200-day line. We've bounced off of that once. which is very strong. We're making new highs, and if we can move above that 780 and hold it, you know, then on the pullback, then that's probably where we're looking to possibly to buy it. So what I would expect is it to come up to about 780 and then pull back probably to the 21-day line, and that's probably where we want to consider buying it. So this is kind of the, and I'm putting another alert on here, but this is sort of the buy point that I'm looking at is right about here. So what I think is going to happen is we're going to pull up to about 780, then it's going to pull back probably to the 21-day line and then reverse. And the way to buy it, of course, is on that reversal. And I know this is kind of complicated, but so here's the thing with Tesla. Not, I wouldn't buy this right now. I would wait for the next pullback, and if the next pullback is good, then I think we can possibly buy it as it's moving higher. That's the thing. So we have to wait for the next pullback to the 21-day line, and then on we really need to on to the 21-day line and then buy. So kind of putting that out there. So basically, we just need this pullback, and then once it pulls back, then on that green little line there where I have this mark, that's where we probably start to want to coming in. Now we've had some very nice volume coming in here. I want to show you this too on the volume chart. As you can see, the we've been up 1, 2, 3 days, and the volume has been decreasing. Well, that means fewer people are willing to sell. So I do think that we will see a pullback, and then once that happens, then it probably will move very nicely above this 780. So I'm really looking for it to move above 780. Then I'm going to become very interested in it. The only thing only concern right now is the volume is low. It's down about 19%. So this is a watch list. This isn't a buy right now. This isn't a buy on Tesla, but it's still definitely, we're getting rid of that overhead supply, and I think we're getting ready to be able to buy it. So, all right, this is a question on ASO. Of course, this is American Sports and Outdoors, and we had on ASO. I did not. I was in this one. I was shaken out, and it's just this one's been a tough one to play. But it is definitely pulled back a little bit today. I want to show you that on the chart. Let me see if I can zoom in here. Yeah, so we can kind of see the action here. I'm going to kind of move over there. Yeah, and unfortunately we're up about 7% per the pivot. So it does look like we're just you know I think that we've had some very good action, but it does seem like it's wanting to move higher. Seems like it's getting some resistance here. So what I would say on this is if we buy it here, it's extended. And it's always tough to buy an extended. It's always tough to buy them when they're extended. So if you have a position in this one, you could add here. You could definitely add here. But starting a new position, I'd be very careful about starting a new position here. But the relative strength is excellent. This has been a very, very good group. So, I kind of want to look at a few other items here on this to see if, and I'm just going to check the checklist here. I'm going to look at that because I want to make sure that, we have the right kind of information here. So that's the Okay, let's see. Yep. Nope. I want to look at the industry. Okay, so industry rank 15. That's excellent. There we go. Okay, there's the checklist. I'm sorry. Sometimes I can't quite get to it. It's got a good checklist. 7 out of 9. I'd like to see 9 out of 9. And on some things we do have that, but the funds are good. This is looking very, very good. In general, this is a retailer. So again, thin margins, but it seems to be doing pretty well. It's come through. There was a lot of activity today, so it definitely had a lot of activity on it. since the last breakout here. So here's what I would do. I I I don't know if I would want to buy it here. I would kind of want to wait until it pulls back a little bit more. I think it will pull back closer to 42.75, which is the buy point. Um, but I could be all wet on this. I could be all wet on this. Very, very hard to tell. But if we were to buy it now and it's a new buy, it's a little extended. So you have to be careful buying when the stock is extended. So we want to buy it as close to the buy point as we can and as close to the 10-day moving average. So, you know, it probably is going to bounce tomorrow on this line, but let's see if we can get it to just pull back a little bit more before buying it. So 45 is about where you want to see it. I think that if it pulls back a little bit to 45 and then rebounds, that's kind of where we want to see it. But this is a very good stock. ASO, it's in a good sector. It's well supported by the fund. So overall, this is looking very, very good. Very, very good. So definitely you can buy this one. Try to see if you could buy it possibly tomorrow, pulling back about to 45. That would be super excellent if you did it. Can you review your bull put spread on Moderna and the current status? Okay, well, definitely. Let's look at that. Nine. Thank you very much for that. By the way, if you're on the Action Trade Alerts, www Dallas Trading Floor, I do these spread trades all the time, and part of the thing on that is, is kind of showing kind of how we're doing on that. So let's update the chart for the Moderna trade, and of course that's mRNA is the um, is the is the symbol. So first of all, we're going to look at the chart. So let's go ahead and look at the chart for this trade, and this is going to be just the stock chart, and then we're going to go and get the actual spread chart. Okay, so here we go. This is the price of Moderna. As you can see, we moved up today. So today we are looking at at a this trade was a bull trade. So as it goes up, it should do better. So currently, after hours, we're looking for Moderna of a price of $436. Okay, and 60 cents. So let's say 437. All right. So what I'm going to do here is kind of track this on on the on a on the actual spread trade. So let me pull that up here. I'm going to go ahead and get this up on our screen here. Got to do a little bit of workarounds. There we go. Okay. So let's go to right, and let's put Moderna. Okay. mRNA. Oops. Right. And that's the Moderna. Okay. Let's see if I can get the right one there. Right. And there we go. Bull put spread on Moderna. There we go. So here's what I'm going to do. And we're going to put that one up on the screen. So here we go. Takes me a little looking around, to show that. Okay, so here we go. This is the Moderna bull put spread that we opened basically on the 14th here. And this slide here shows us kind of where we're expecting it to go, okay? So currently the Moderna closed at about 437 because that's where we were looking on the chart. So we're gonna take this, and it's not as you can see, it's every other day. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to show you what the approximate value for this spread should be. So I'm going to move it up. There we go. Come on, let's see. Yep, to about 437. As you can see, we started out negative, and we're starting to make progress positive. So currently, based on the my calculation of where this should be, at about 437.50, and of course this is not quite right. It actually would be right in here, in between them. This is sort of where the trade is currently. Now, if we were to just go sideways on the chart, you see, eventually we would end up, we would end up making all the money. Now, remember, this is a credit spread. So when we enter the spread, we get money. And that's the case here. What we did is we bought the 15 October 390 put, and then we simultaneously sold the 400 put. That's the October 15th 400 put. So the net of this was was 266 or 2.66 because remember it's for 100 shares. So when we entered this, we got a credit of 466. Now, if we were to close it today, the fair value of this we would have lost $27. But as time goes on, hopefully, if as long as the stock moves steady, then you can see we're going to come into the money. So let's go back to the actual chart and show you. Currently, it looks as if we are in somewhat of an upward trend on Moderna. So if that holds, and you can see that we can move up to say maybe this 490, let's say we could move up to 480 on this. Let's go back to that spread. If we were to move up to, even at 450, you see, we're going to be in the money. See, you see that? So as long as this trend holds, and of course it's going to bounce around in here, but as long as this trend holds, we have a fairly high likelihood that we will keep all of the money that we originally went in with the trade with, and that would be 266. Now, would would we possibly close this early? Absolutely, because here's the thing. If you can get 50% of the profit, usually it's a good idea to possibly close the trade and then move on to another trade. These are directional trades. And it looks as if, based on when I calculated this, there was a probability of profit of 69.3%. That means at the expiration, based on the volatility, of the underlying security, we have basically a 69% that this will be the case. This is sort of the profit map that I put out. This is what this does is uses the Black-Scholes model to calculate the potential value of the spread based on the underlying price of the security. And of course, today it closed at 437. So that is the spread trade for Moderna. And thank you very, very much for that. If you're interested in possibly, getting in on some of the spread trades, it's super easy. I still think you could enter this trade. I still think you could definitely enter this trade. What I want to show you, of course, is, if you go to Dallas Trading Floor, DALLASTRADING, floor, FLOOR.com, it will bring up the menu and I think it will do that. Yeah, it's a little bit slow today. There we go. Okay, it's if you go to www Dallas Trading Floor, and I'm a little bit of, it will bring up this menu. And let me just kind of show you that, just so you can kind of see where, you can get more information on the trade, on this Moderna trade, so that you can actually see it. So if you go to www Dallas Trading Floor, you're going to see a menu kind of like this, and then you just scroll on down here and you can see this. The first one, it's bull put spread on Moderna. Just click there and boom, it's gonna ask you for your name and information. This is so I can keep up with you. But then if we go through there, then it will give you the deck. It will give you the deck on how to enter the Moderna trade. So right now, I do think that we can still do the Moderna trade, and it's looking pretty good. You probably won't get quite a good as price as I did, and that price I did because they do vary. But I think it's still pretty darn good. But thank you so much for that question. Very much appreciate it. All right, next question. Can you tell us more about Can Slim? Well, Can Slim is very interesting because basically it is a system that was developed over about the last, I would say 40 years. It basically was developed by William O'Neill, and William O'Neill went out and he basically took, and this was before microcomputers and everything, back in the 60s, he had people input into IBM cards all of the closing prices for all the stocks of the New York Stock Exchange, going really back to 1880, and then he put it into a IBM 360. probably never seen one of those. And then he plotted all of the charts, and then he analyzed all the charts, and from that he developed Can Slim. Now, if you're interested in Can Slim, the easiest way to really understand that is to possibly go and look at the Can Slim. Now, if you go to the www Dallas trading floor, you can and I can show you. If you go to www Dallas trading floor, um, there you will see on the list, you'll see this thing right here. If you're new to the stock market trade, just push here. Okay, well, this is what it's going to look like, and this is the book that I recommend. I highly recommend it. It's available through www Dallas Trading Floor, but it just links through to Amazon. You don't have to buy it for this. This is just for convenience. But How to Make Money in Stocks: A Winning System, Good Times or Bad. Excellent, excellent book. It explains all of Can Slim, and it may be a little bit lengthy, but not it's not a hard system to learn, but it just basically is a great system, and it's what I try to practice here. I did not invent it, but many of the top traders in the world use it. So it's something that you can really, really go through and see. It will help you trade better. I can tell you that if you know Ken Slim, and that's kind of what I do here. I analyze the stocks on a kind of a Can Slim basis. All right, let's look at Square. And this is in a little bit of a downward trend. One of the things you're doing in Can Slim is you're typically trying to buy things as they're in an upward trend. Now, currently, this is not an upward trend, but it has moved above the reversal. See, what happened is Square moved up very nicely here, and then it made its peak at 238.19 way back in February. Since then, it's just kind of been consolidating. This is called consolidating, where it just kind of moves up and down. And this is just between basically a low of about 190, 150, and 183. It just kind of moves back and forth there. Now, why does it do that? Well, the reason it does this is because this is where the weak holders and the strong holders are sort of battling it out. What do I mean by that? Well, here's what I mean. The weak holders are people that are willing to take the bid and not willing to wait around for the ask. As the weak hands get taken out, it will move like this. Then once those hands are taken out, then as long as it's still in an uptrend overall, you will see it move higher. Most people don't understand what really moves a stock. They think it moves only on news. Well, it doesn't. What the way a stock moves is that you have people that are willing to sell at the bid price, and many people, have been willing to sell at the bid price for Square, but that is starting to change. It looks as if we're going to finally get a bounce here, and you'll notice even though we're consolidating, it's been moving up gradually, but once it reverses higher and then it moves through this high, that's when the strong hands are going to be in control and it possibly will move higher. So, what do I think about that? Well, I think that, we might this could be an early point to buy the stock, but I am not liking the action on this as much as I did before. I held this stock before. I had this stock before. Um, and I do think that we are going to see a reversal, but I want to make sure it moves above that 40-day line. That's where I want to see it move above. So right now on Square, if you're not in this one, I think that, I want to see a little bit more strength, but I think you can watch this one. And I think that possibly it's a buy above. And I'm going to just go here I'm just going to reactivate this one here because this is one of the above about 261. That's where you want to start possibly looking to buy. So I had a stop loss at 261. It moved down below that. I sold it, but now I'm looking possibly to get back in. So looking to get back in the stock. And here's another thing. Another thing that I do because this was activated. What I did is I had this stock. It pulled back. I had a stop loss on it. I sold it. I still had profit in it because I bought it as it moved above the reversal line. But now I've waited, and now once it returns higher, then I will buy it once again. So this is a strategy that you can use. But right now, I think you got to watch this one. I just don't think it's time for Square yet. But if it moves above, about that 261, then I'm interested in it. But right now, not so much. Not so much. So I'm going to watch this one, see how it trades, and just go from there. Let's see. How do you avoid false breakouts? Wow, if I knew that, Tom, I would be I would be so much richer than I am. Basically, the way you deal with this is that it's not enough for it to break out. It needs to break out on higher volume. So here's what you do when you're looking at that. So let's look at a stock. Let's look at a stock that's breaking out. Let's say breaking out today. We have two stocks that I can find that are breaking out today. So let's look at Copart. This is one of the ones I own, by the way. So I want to show you this. So how do you tell if how do you tell if if you're doing it right? Now this is the daily chart for Copart. I own Copart, by the way. I bought it this morning, and why did I buy it? Well, the reason I bought it was because I think I have noted it. I think I no, I'm sorry. I've turned off. Excuse me. Let me turn back on my notation because I have notations on this one. So hopefully I can get it. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn back on some of the notations. Oops. I'm going to turn back on the notations here. And I do have a notation on the daily chart. Okay, you can see where I bought it. I bought today, I bought a full position of Copart at 147.29. Now currently it's at 148. That's closed at 148.94. And after hours is up a little bit. Why did I buy it there? Well, I bought it there because it reversed. Okay, so you can see that's the reversal line. That's where it stops going down and starts moving up. But more importantly, and I want to really point this out, and this is the key, you don't just want to buy it as it reverses. You want to buy it, you want to buy it as it has higher volume. You see that? You see that volume increase? See that bars there? This is an exponential chart here. So this is the average daily volume. You can see how much farther above this, and this is exponential. So this is not only double the amount, but as you can see, it's 135% above. So that's how you avoid buying a false breakout is you buy it as it's moving on higher volume, as it's moving on higher volume. That is a great, great question because you want to buy it as you see strength. Now, it's interesting because here's the thing. Sometimes they don't break out after earnings. Copart had great earnings, but it took several days for the it kind of to come up to the bubble up to the surface. They had some great earning they had great earnings, up 51%. The sales were up 42%. But as we have rotated out of many of the tech stocks, many of these funds don't have places to put their booty, as it were. So they need places. This is one of the places that they're putting it in. Interestingly enough, in recessions and in times of high inflation, there are certain kinds of companies that do extremely well. That's the reason why big firms are buying things like grocery stores. I don't really like grocery stores, but they tend to do well. They tend to have stable earnings in times of high inflation and but they also one of the big things are auto parts stores and especially used auto parts stores, and that's what Copart is. Copart is a conglomeration of junkyards. Basically, they buy wrecked cars from insurance companies. They give them a cash price. They disassemble them, and then they put it on their site, their internet site that's worldwide. So you can get parts for just about any car used that are original, of course, from their network of disassemblers. So it's a very interesting company, and it's going to be very strong, I think, because and this is just a fundamental analysis on it, because we're coming into a time of high inflation. A lot of people won't be able to buy new cars. Remember, they're in shortage because of the chip shortage, and Copart is probably likely to do well. Now, why did I buy it when I did? I bought it because not only did it move beyond a reversal line, but it moved up on high volume, and that's what you really that's how you can tell. And it's not easy. It takes it's not it's less of a science and more of an art to do this. But that's what I try to be totally transparent about what I'm buying when I'm buying it. So, by the way, if you're on the action if you're on the Discord room, that's another way to do it because I try to put every trade that I'm making as I'm making it, close to it as I can, in the Discord room. Now, this is a paid service, but a lot of people really like it, and we do have some pretty successful traders in there. Some some are are better at are trading better than I am. So, and I've been doing this for a while since really the mid '80s. So this is an interesting thing to go on. But that's a great question. Really appreciate that. That's the kind of thing. If you start looking at that, then um, you know then then it can be a good thing. So thank you. Amazon is forming a bearish head. Yes, I agree with you. Now, but the thing is, I wouldn't short. By the way, everybody, the head and shoulders pattern, which Tom is talking about here, is a shorting pattern. We don't want to short a stock though in a confirmed uptrend. We're currently in a confirmed uptrend, so I'd be really careful shorting anything like Amazon. But that said, we could do a spread trade. We could probably do a bear put spread on it. And that might be a way to handle it because it's too dangerous to short it outright, but possibly by doing a bear put spread, we could get advantage of that. I do believe that you're right, Tom. I think we're going to see some movement downwards on Amazon. That's the reason why earlier I was talking when we got the question on Amazon, which is a great question. I talked a little bit about Meli, which is the Latin American Amazon. I don't know you could really say that, but it's similar. It's in a different phase of its growth, whereas Amazon is, even though they're growing, their growth is slowing. I mean, it's just been, and so we're going to see probably a little bit of correction in Amazon stock. We're not going to Amazon's not going to go out of business tomorrow, but remember on the last earnings there was a gap down on Amazon. And that was key because that's saying that, hey, they've been ripping along right along. The price had been moving up, anticipating that last earnings it pulled back. So Amazon is looking to get probably a little bit weaker. I think you're absolutely right on this. That's a really great, really great. Oh, I'm sorry, handle not shoulder. Okay, I apologize. I thought you, I misspoke there. But the head and shoulders pattern, that is the shorting pattern, but we're not in that phase of the market right now. Thank you for correcting me on that. I'm holding Amazon, speculating on a stock split. Well, here's the thing about uh, I don't know about Melly being a cloud provider. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. But on a stock split, here's what you do on a stock split. I love playing stock splits. I was doing that all last year with Apple and Tesla, and also, this year with TTD, the trade desk, and also Nvidia. But just just on the rumor of it, I don't know. Amazon, I don't think is split in a long time. Here's the thing: if the way to find out is to keep checking on the split calendar, and if they announce it, then that's when to jump in. You might want to. I don't know if there's going to be a split, but typically they will not split a stock unless they're going to have some very strong earnings coming up. That's exactly what Nvidia did. Nvidia basically waited until to announce their split, their 4-for-1 split. They waited until they had an absolutely fantastic quarter. So not only did they announce that they were improving the guidance on their stock in terms of moving higher, but that's when they did it. So right now, I think that and I could be, I don't have any insider information on Amazon, but I do believe that um, you know maybe, take a look at Amazon. I don't know, they probably are going to split, but we don't know when. And really, until it's very tough. It's very tough. So I would be a little bit cautious right now with Amazon. I do think it possibly is going to pull back a little bit, and pull back a little bit. Typically, when a stock split is announced, the stock will move up until the date of record. So that's just something to look at as well. But With Amazon, I think, again, it's terrific stock. It's not going out of business anytime soon. But I think that, maybe you might want to look at Melly because it's in a different phase. Uh, internet shopping is going to be it's big in the United States, but it's going to be much much bigger in places like Latin America because in places like that they have a problem with infrastructure and this is just going to leapfrog. It's going to be kind of like in Asia when you know when 5G came around. It just got incredible adoption, and I think that's going to be the truth with Melly. Amazon really had that growth basically 10 years ago, and now they're consolidating that. So, long story short, I think that Amazon is still great, but look at some of these other ones that might be a little bit faster horses right now. They might be a little bit faster horses. Well, I'm almost running out of time today. Sorry to do that. Let's take one last question. I've kind of gone on and on. H&M Class B. Okay. Hmm. I don't know what the symbol is on that. So let's look at one last one. Can we go over Neo? Let's go over Neo and see if there's any hope with Neo. Neo basically trades, of course, in sympathy with Amazon. So we Amazon has been showing some strength, but Neo, at least from what I can see, is still, and I'm on the weekly chart here, is still on a downward trend. So I just, here's the thing about Neo. It's below the 200-day moving average. This is not a place I would buy Neo. Now, it's true they've had these tremendous earnings. Now, this is why I always say it's not the fundamentals that drive a stock because on the fundamentals, Neo's looking really good. Look at this. They're all their sales are way up. But remember, fundamentals do not drive a stock. It is technicals. So fundamentally, we would think that, oh, Neo is the buy, but it isn't. Why? Because technically we are in a downward trend and the relative strength is 56. So as much as I would like to say, I would like to say buy Neo. I think that would be great. I can't because it just is pulling back, and you don't want to buy it as it moves below that 200-day line. So here's the thing with Neo, and I, I'm not trying to be argumentative here, but if you're down more than 7% on this, consider lightening up your position or possibly selling it. Why? Because it is still moving lower. Now, when it starts to move up, that's when you want to buy it. Remember, you always want to buy it as it's changing direction, going from weak to strong. Right now, the weak hands are still getting smoked out of this one, and the strong hands have not taken over yet. People are taking the bid price. People are taking the ask price. I'm sorry. People are taking the bid prices here and not the ask prices. So this is going to be pulling back, and so here's the thing with Neo. I just think that you can't buy it at this level. I just think you can't buy it. You got to wait for a character change on the stock. And I want to look at the monthly chart. Just kind of one last thing. You can see how far Neo has come up. I do think that we possibly are going to see Neo come down and possibly be trading. I think, and I know this is terrible, but I think that I'm going to start getting very interested when I see a reversal, and I think that reversal is going to happen at about 14 or 15 on this one. So I just wouldn't be a buyer of a Neo right now. I just not the stock to be in. Well, thank you everybody for bearing with me here on the show. I so appreciate it. If you're watching on TikTok, it's super easy to get on to the action trailers. Just go to the profile, click the link, first and last name and email address, and we'll get you right on there. Also, if you want individual analysis of individual stocks, we do this all day in the Discord room, and that's available at www.dallas Trading Floor. And then just scroll down, and you'll see where you can join the special Discord room. If you just want to get on the Action Trailer Alerts, and this is the free service, just need a first and last name and an email address. Well, until tomorrow, I'm going to be back at 3:30 Central. Thanks, everybody. Please tell your friends about the show. I really appreciate everybody out there, and I'm going to try to answer to the best of my ability your questions, and hopefully help you solve the money problem. That's what Cam Slim did to me 30 years ago. I'm trying to help other people trade in this style because it can be very, very rewarding once you get into it. But thanks again for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow. I have one last question. Thank you. Just came up here, and thank you very, very much for watching. I so appreciate it. But please tell your friends. Always looking for more people. And of course, if you're watching me on Tik on if you're watching on YouTube, please like it. Please subscribe and like it. I would really appreciate it. Thanks again, and I'll see you tomorrow at 3:30 Central. Happy trading.